Like temperatures the last couple of days here in Washington, warmest we've ever been here in D.C. this early in the year, and because of that you're going to get threats that are very late spring, early summer like, including violent thunderstorms. And so far western portions of Montgomery County getting some of the worst of the weather here. Germantown, it's on your doorstep. Rockville, it looks like the worst of it's going to pass to your north, but still probably hearing some rumbles of thunder in the distance as the southern flank of this line will cross on by you. Rockville, you're not included in the warning, but your neighbors to the north, Germantown, and just around the Gaithersburg area, kind of right on the border of it as well. Let's jump back north. We'll check on that tornado warning again because we want to continue to watch it, and we'll let you know if they end up dropping it at any point. But yeah, heads up folks in Westminster, as we look like we just got a new severe thunderstorm warning. So now extended. So we'll go back to Montgomery County for a moment here. Severe thunderstorm warning now extended into central portions of Montgomery County. And then there's that tornado warning to the north again. But let's get to the latest update here. And that is they dropped the considerable from it as it gets into western portions of, or eastern portions of Montgomery County, excuse me, including Brooksville, north of Rockville. So Rockville, you're still not in it. Only area you're in it. And then heading over towards the Columbia area, Howard County, central and western portions of Howard County in Maryland. They are all included in this cell as well. So it's an active afternoon here in the Weather Department as we track one tornado warning and several severe thunderstorm warnings with you. So we're going to stay on with you till at least 7 o'clock here in D.C. As we monitor that tornado warning. So let's go ahead and go to the north and we'll check on this cell, which is starting to approach kind of the eastern flank of the tornado warned area. So we told you it would probably get out of that box prior to 7:15. So the worst of the storm right over downtown Westminster right now. And Caitlin can go ahead and throw on the velocity tracker for you, and we'll see where that rotation is. It really suggests to me that it's starting to broaden and starting to weaken. This would be the area of rotation. It is pretty broad, though. That's a great sign because that's what we would expect to see in a cell that happens to be weakening. So I wouldn't be surprised if they don't drop this a little early or if they don't let it expire on time, which again, this warning box goes until 7:15, though the tornadic part of this thunderstorm is very quickly, within the next 5 minutes, likely going to head and exit that warning box area. So we'll give you a big picture as that threat looks like it's winding down to us a little bit, but we're going to show you the multiple severe thunderstorm warnings that remain. Even if you're in Carroll County, you're outside of the tornado watch or warning area, you are still getting severe thunderstorm-like conditions. That will go in place until 7:15 p.m. And then our latest warning dropping the considerable. So winds now just up to 60 miles per hour through parts of Montgomery County and heading over to central portions of Howard County. That warning, I believe, goes until 7:30. Caitlin, if you want to check on me, I believe it goes till 7:30 p.m. This evening. And we'll continue to track these storms for you as they continue to cross our area over the next few hours. We do expect that activity, by the way. That tornado watch goes until 8 p.m. tonight. After that point, things should generally wind down. You see, there is the tornado watch area that includes Montgomery, Howard, and Carroll County. And one more time, because we are going to go ahead and wrap up our coverage with you and get over to line in 15 seconds. Let's check on that tornado warning and just give you one more update as it goes right through downtown Westminster, or at least the heaviest part of this cell. Our latest indications are that it's a weaker rotation, though. If any other warnings get issued, we will come back to you. Time for Lion.
All right, straight at 7 o'clock, we welcome you into this edition of Fox 5's Like It or Not. We have so much to get to tonight. Lots going on in the world. If anything happens weather-wise, we, of course, will keep you ahead of that all. But let's have some fun. This is Like It or Not. Let's go.
Oh, we need a breather.
What do you
Mike
was doing all the work.
I know, but when all that stuff's on the radar and Mike's going because he gets really revved up, my heart starts,
It starts
going.
Palpitations.
Yes.
Palpitations. Hey, welcome to the show tonight. It is Wednesday. Yes. Sharon is back here. Kenneth Bowden, our pal Autumn Joy.
Hello.
Back in the house. Good to see you tonight.
Yes, it's good to see you all.
What's new in your world?
Oh, everything.
Yeah.
I'm doing a 2-year-old. We were just talking, Ken and I were just talking about exchanging pleasantries about, I'm trying to potty train. He just potties and there's no training happening at all. So yeah, there's that. But,
I get it. She's like, he runs around with his clothes off. I was like, I do the same. Still. And I'm over 40.
Yeah.
They eventually will get it, right?
Yeah, eventually.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I know you make the rounds during the day, so it's always nice when you can stick around a little bit late and come in with us. So it's great to see you again. Let's fire it up and get going tonight. And we start with the future of transportation. The FAA says it'll start testing different kinds of air taxis. 8 proposals have been selected for a new pilot program. It'll be tested across 26 states, including Maryland and Virginia. They're going to start the testing this summer. The project will help develop new regulations for the futuristic technologies. Kenneth, what do we think about this one, like it or not?
I don't like it because we already got enough going on here. And, I mean, we're still having issues with...
Hang on.
Oh, what's going on?
We got a tornado warning.
Okay.
Let's go back over to Mike Thomas.
We are getting you ready. It's just as we wrap up the Westminster one, we get a new tornado warning, and we're going to let Caitlin go ahead and take over this one.
Yeah, Mike's going to catch his breath because, just kidding, on the like it or not, we have a new tornado warning. This is not the same one as the Westminster one that we were just on the air with. This is a new one. It does include portions of Carroll, Howard, and also Montgomery County. This one goes until 7:15 p.m. So this is part of the severe thunderstorm warning that was just issued along I-70 in Maryland, but it's a different storm, so it's a little bit farther south than what we were talking about earlier. The worst of this storm is right over Damascus, and if there is some rotation within it, it would probably be on the eastern side of this storm, which is where they issued that tornado warning. So tornado warning within a severe thunderstorm warning. Tornado warning's red. Severe thunderstorm warning is yellow. The tornado warning looks like it may just include Damascus, but is mostly east of Montgomery County into Howard County. But it does include Lisbon, West Friendship, Mount Airy, all the communities there along I-70. And there is a lot of lightning, by the way, kind of just on the northwestern flank of that tornado warning. So you've got very heavy rain. You've got a lot of frequent lightning in northern Montgomery County, southern Frederick County, and getting into Howard County here. But you've also now got some rotation within the part of the storm that's moving east of Damascus. And it looks like it'll just kind of parallel I-70 here as it pushes off to the east. So we had our one tornado warned storm to the north. We had a severe thunderstorm, kind of a line, a bow echo, if you will, that formed in Loudoun County, is now pushed east into Montgomery County. But the northern part of that storm is rotating, and that has prompted the tornado warning. So I'll step out of the way for a second so you can see the actual warnings. The tornado warning, that goes until 7:15 within the full severe thunderstorm warning that goes until 7:30. And that full severe thunderstorm warning is big. It includes a large chunk of Montgomery County and Howard County, getting kind of right up to Columbia and then staying just west of 95. But basically, you've got multiple hazards within these two counties because that severe thunderstorm warning does continue back into Montgomery County. Is that another tornado warning there?
No, they just updated the Montgomery County one. That one up in Westminster is set to expire.
Okay, this is our, got it. That's our old one that we were on the air with for Frederick and Carroll, but that is now part of just Carroll County, which Baltimore covers. We, of course, will cover you here for this tornado warning that does include sections of Montgomery and Howard County. So it would kind of be this part of the storm right here, Lisbon and points southward, kind of right along Route 97. I would say you are in the path of the tornado warning right there. That's where the cell is likely seeing winds that are turning towards and away from the radar. That's rotation, and that prompted the tornado warning. So if you are in one of these areas within the storm or in the path of the storm, which will get you a path in just a second, that is where you want to seek shelter. That is where, if there's a tornado or there's going to be a tornado on the ground, it would be within the path of these storms. So communities including Glenwood, it's bearing down on you right now. I would say in the next 5 minutes, West Friendship, and then from there, Alpha, Woodstock. These are all communities kind of along I-70 and then getting up to the county line where you would be in the path of this tornado warning. Mike's putting an additional tracker on it just for kind of like the whole warning, just in case, you know, if you're in this warning box, you do want to take shelter and take it seriously. So Knollwood, again, West Friendship, but Mount View, Woodstock, all within the next 10 to 15 minutes. This storm is going to come barreling towards you, and they are moving very quickly, I would say. And they're, you know, these severe thunderstorms are in large clusters. We've had large severe thunderstorm warnings for good chunks of Loudoun, Montgomery. That's the history of this storm. It's taking up a wide chunk of real estate. But within it, along I-70, that's the part where you're going to see the tornado warning. Looks like we're under multiple tornado watches, severe thunderstorm watches, all the things. But what we're most focused on is that red box, which is the tornado warning that goes until 7:15. So it's 7:06 now. This will likely continue for at least the next 10 minutes to ride out the warning. Any reports?
So multiple reports of damage and trees down with the northern flank of this storm coming across. So far, no reports of any tornadoes, but straight line wind damage. Apparently, there have been several emergency management out of Montgomery County is reporting several 911 calls with multiple trees and wires down in the northern part of the county. So dangerous storm entering Howard as we speak.
Yeah, and this storm has also produced wind damage way back where it formed out along 81 a couple hours ago. So it has a history of producing straight line wind damage. It looks intimidating. Radar indicating gusts of 60 to 70 miles an hour. It did have a considerable tag on the severe thunderstorm warning. So we were mostly concerned about trees and wires coming down with this storm. Whether it's straight line winds, whether it's tornadic, it doesn't matter. Either way is the potential to cause quite a bit of damage as it moves into Howard County. So again, that's a look at the warning, and the worst of it kind of bisecting Route 97 and Interstate 70. Mike's kind of highlighting to you where within the velocity couplet, or where the velocity couplet is, where that rotation is within the storm. And that looks to be just north and along I-70 in between Lisbon and West Friendship. So if these communities sound familiar to you, this is where you want to be sheltering. Looks like we have a view of I-70 here in Maryland from our MDOT camera, and you can certainly see plenty of rain out there. Headlights certainly on as traffic continues during this evening commute, 7 p.m. now. And that is the part of the storm that not only has a severe thunderstorm warning, but also a tornado warning. So certainly wet. You can see that heavy rain there. And there is a lot of heavy rain with this cell as it's approaching. So you wouldn't necessarily be able to see anything. We have seen some images of this storm as it moved through Loudoun into Montgomery, a very classic looking supercell structure to it. So it looked impressive. It looked pretty textbook as a severe thunderstorm. And now as it moves from northern Montgomery County into Howard County, it's probably maintaining that structure. There's some lightning right there flashing on Interstate 70. But you wouldn't really be able to see it coming so much as, you know, you've got some really heavy rain associated with it. So we'll continue to show that MDOT camera because you can see the lightning with the heavy rain there. And there is a lot of lightning on the northern flank of this storm. It's kind of just outside the tornado warning. So this is where we're showing you the whole storm, which does stretch from, looks like the Rockville area to all the way nearly north of Lisbon there, getting into maybe Carroll County, far eastern Frederick, western Carroll County there, kind of meeting up with where our other storm had been. This goes until, the tornado warning goes until 7:15. The severe thunderstorm warning goes until 7:30. But the reason we're on the air for you is the tornado warning, because that is where the most dangerous part of the storm is likely to be. Not to say that you can't get straight line winds and damage in other parts of the storm. You certainly can. That's why we're under a severe thunderstorm warning. So anyone from Rockville back to Germantown, even though it's kind of passing you by, Brookville only, you're getting into western Howard County communities there. You're under the worst of the storm as well, and you have the potential to see some straight line winds, therefore gusts to 60 miles an hour that can cause some damage. So here's another one of our cameras side by side from the Boulevard Apartments in Rockville. Just saw a few flashes of lightning there. Rockville is kind of on the southern flank of the storm, so maybe you're looking more northward from our camera angle, I would suspect, so that you can see some of that lightning. Rockville is not technically in the severe thunderstorm warning, but you're close enough to it. And there's another flash or two of lightning that we just saw. So you're looking north into the storm, the worst of the storm, I suspect, although there is still a bit of some action just off to your west surrounding Rockville, we'll say. But certainly most of that energy is focused more northward. Eastern Montgomery County getting into western Howard County now. And there's that warning as it stays well north of Columbia, but kind of getting closer into more eastern sections of Howard County. And this is within it where we saw the velocity, which I don't know that it looked that impressive, Mike. The couplet that we saw
Maybe very brief. I mean, when they come in these lines like this, you get very quick spin-ups, and they tend to be weaker tornadoes, but you see there, and that's back to 658. There's a little bit showing up just off to the west of Lisbon. It's brief. It goes away,
through here,
and then it comes back. I will say they are continually updating some of this damage reports here, and emergency management is saying around Damascus and Clarksburg, scattered trees and wires down in that area. Baltimore is reporting the wind gusts 40 to 50 out of Lisbon, where that storm would have just went through. But at this time, no indication or confirmation of anybody having eyes on any sort of tornado up that way. But they can be very, very quick. I mean, they're almost more like gust-nados, which are almost impossible to see in this area, in this type of situation. But certainly an impressive cluster of storms for March 11th here, Caitlin.
Absolutely. I mean, but impressive heat today. I mean, think about it. We hit 86 degrees this afternoon, shattered a record high. It was also earliest we've ever seen the temperature of 86 in the season, meaning March 11th was the earliest we've been this warm ever. Yesterday it was 84. And that's 2 days in a row of record high temperatures in the 80s. We've got a winter-like air mass heading our way. So that clash, winter cold, summer heat, is going to ignite some very strong thunderstorms. And we expected that as we went into today. A tornado watch was issued hours ago for portions of northern Maryland. We've already seen one going from Frederick County into Carroll County. That, by the way, actually had a more impressive signature. This does not. Not to say that it's not rotating, and we haven't had a history of wind damage with what is a really gnarly looking cluster of severe thunderstorms that pushed out a Loudoun, moving through Montgomery and into Howard now. So all of it is destructive in its own way. And also, this is the first round of severe weather we've had in months. I think you have to go way back into the fall since the last time we've seen any severe weather. So a reminder to really pay attention to the warnings when they come on your phone, your radar, because it got pretty bad pretty quickly with heavy rain, lots of lightning, and now these warnings that are coming out. So including the severe thunderstorm warning, which will be active for about a few more minutes. Early heads up, too. If you're east of here, getting closer into the Baltimore area, well, this line is coming for you. So whether it's tornadic or not, it's certainly ominous looking. I mean, now as we take a live view of Rockville, we're running past sunset at this point, so it's getting dark naturally, but also aided by the dark, threatening clouds associated with the severe thunderstorm that's surrounding Rockville. And earlier we could see plenty of lightning as we looked off to the north. There is still a good amount of lightning, not within the tornado warned portion of the storm, but just kind of north of it there. So all the components of good thunderstorm moving through. And no doubt a lot of you have probably either heard thunder or heard the wind with the wind gusts that Mike was reporting.
And I will say they are set. There is no talk of them expanding this off to the east, at least not at this time. So we are set to expire this warning in less than 2 minutes here. So this is set to go off the air at 7:15, and then we'll get you back over the like it or not once this warning is dropped. But right now, I mean, the only thing I see of any concern, rotation-wise, we're not picking up too much. You have a little drop in the radar right there, which suggests just kind of a push of air coming out of air rushing out of this thunderstorm while it's also pooling in some drier air from the north and west. Looks like we're getting a new frame in on radar here, which should update us. But it does look like there has occasionally been a sort of a pulsation in the intensity of this rotation, but it comes and goes very, very quickly here.
Yeah, and we see that all the time with storms around here. So the pulsing nature, very familiar with that. Looks like they extended the severe thunderstorm warning well off to the east, several counties there, Mike.
Yeah, it looks like Anne Arundel and Baltimore, as well as downtown Baltimore, all included until 8 o'clock. Does not look like they're going to expand this severe thunderstorm warning. I will say I saw they put up a severe thunderstorm watch for Prince George's and Anne Arundel County. So, better late than never on that with storms on the doorstep there. Yeah. But we are looking at this part of the tornado warning cell about to be dropped with no indication from the National Weather Service that they're going to be expanding past the next 30 seconds or so.
So here's what we'll do. This expires in 30 seconds.
Oh, it's gone.
Now it's gone. And we're going to go to break, and then we'll come back to Like It or Not. But if we get another warning like we just did, of course, we'll break right into programming to keep you updated. But in the meantime, we can head to break, and Fox 5 will be right back.
So I just don't think that air taxis are the way, and that's how I ended up naked in the back of a regular taxi.
Whoa. What?
That was a long
wild.
story that I just hope you guys followed. But
We did our best.
wow,
That went
I
on
can't
for
believe-
about 16
I can't believe I
minutes.
told that on TV.
Okay. Well,
Those details were a little much for me, but
Yeah.
I appreciate it.
all right, let's jump back because before we get interrupted again by the weather team, let's move on. Is there a point in your career where you can just give up on grammar at work? The Wall Street Journal reporting just that. Messages from titans of business and politics show a striking disregard for spelling, punctuation, and proper grammar. Things like a memo from Twitter founder Jack Dorsey being written entirely in lowercase, to the famous hack at Sony Pictures revealing executives sending messages riddled with typos. A professor at Georgetown says disregarding spelling and grammar could be a power move or a sign of friendliness. Kenneth?
Yeah.
What do you think?
Are you going to cut me off again this time? Or if you have to.
We got 11 minutes, so let's
Okay.
keep it. Yeah.
Guys, we need to know how to spell. Literacy is important. I say that even in our industry all the time. I don't want to go off on a tangent, and give you guys too much behind the scenes here. But I will say that sometimes journalists think, TV journalists, we don't have to know how to spell because we put everything in. But it's for me to read it properly, that is one thing that will help if you spell the words correctly.
All right, so how old's your son?
Which one? Well, I have
Your oldest son.
14 and then a 2-year-old. Yeah.
So, this is the time when they're trying to pound through their heads grammar, spelling. Yeah. Are they still doing that?
Yeah. Oh, my gosh. Well, I know I am. I was an English major in college. So he gets it from all angles when it comes to me. And nothing grinds my gears more than when someone doesn't put the period in the right place, the comma doesn't capitalize something, or when they shorten a word to make it seem cool and hip. Oh, no. I make him rewrite his entire project.
At what point did we just say, this doesn't matter anymore? I even get irritated when, when people just text the wrong word.
That's right. That's what it is.
That irks me. I'm do you not know how to actually spell that? Or are you just, I don't think it's a symbol of friendliness. I think sometimes it once in a while you might mess something up, but I think it's a bad look.
Yeah. I think when we have gone from shorthand with everything, and it comes down, I think it goes back to the T9.
Yeah.
Texting, when you were texting, when you're 555 444.
Yes.
Right. So I think that's where it all changed.
Yeah.
All right. I want to move on here. Costco, the one-stop shop from everything from food to gas to clothes. Now fertility drugs. They are teaming up with Sesame, a healthcare marketplace that lets people buy certain fertility drugs at low cost. These are medications that are required for treatments like IVF. They can cost thousands of dollars out of pocket. The price could be cut up to 80%. Costco members can gain immediate access to fertility care for complete diagnostic workups. They're referred to clinics when medically appropriate, and they would be filled at a member rate. All right, so wholesalers and big box stores filling a void here.
Listen, this is such a need in our society right now. So if Costco's doing it, then power to you, Costco. A lot of these drugs, I don't know, but they cost thousands of dollars. How can anyone afford that when most insurances don't cover these drugs? I think it's a gateway to more people saying, hey, we have an issue in this country. Let's have some equity here. Costco's doing it. Hopefully these are all, approved drugs and that can be tested and make sure that they're good quality. But of course, yes, this is a good thing.
Yeah. And to Sharon's point, I like this, but I'm a little bit nervous. Is this drug going to be 100% what you're supposed to get, or is this going to be a watered down version because it's 80% off? So hopefully it's you're still getting more bang for your buck, if you will.
If you can fertilize, I see. Okay.
By the way, they also do Viagra and other drugs like that.
Speaking of, but if you can fertilize your eggs and get a pack of 24 eggs for $4.99, then yes, go for it. Thank you, Costco.
Right.
All right. You had to go there, right?
I did, yeah.
By the way, credit to Kenneth for going with the eggs and not trying to work in the $1.50 hot dog deal.
Oh yeah,
because you can get it all in one place. I think I would say I think that any fears like that would be allayed pretty quickly.
Yeah.
I think we were talking about this, and by the way, go over to my Instagram because we were talking about this while we were in weather coverage. But Sharon brought up a very good point that we've gotten to a point where it is just so prohibitively expensive. So when you have retailers stepping in, it's a good PR technique, but if that's what it's going to take to make these things more accessible,
right?
So be it.
But if you're doing IVF, you still need the hot dogs.
Yes, nothing like a good glizzy. Gotcha.
Oh Lord.
That is our Fox 5 Live Insta poll question. Getting IVF meds at Costco. We're at 50-50. Go to fox5dc.com/lion. Cast your vote. We're going to check the results coming up, in just about 5 minutes. Stick around.
I'm the bad guy. Duh.
All right, today is March 11th. March 15th is National Espresso Martini Day. Buffalo Wild Wings celebrating with its first ever espresso protini. It is a wing-inspired spin on the espresso martini infused with buffalo dry rub and 10 grams of protein. It is made with classic espresso martini ingredients and muscle milk protein powder. People online are calling it unhinged, but you know what, Autumn? We're talking about Buffalo Wild Wings, and that's all that matters.
You know, I would try this. Why not? I love wings. I love a martini. Put that together, and hey, sign me up. And we drink Bloody Marys anyway, and all different types of drinks with like chicken legs in it and like waffle fries. I'm sure you guys have seen like
I've had those.
those like brunch drinks on steroids. So hey, why not? I try it. Yeah.
Do we need to be putting protein in everything?
This is absurd. Are you kidding me? Yeah, you know, it's like so funny. Everyone wants to be healthy, right? They're like, oh, I want a protein shake, or I want a protein. Like, why are you getting this as a protein espresso martini, right? Like, you know, this is like 5,000 calories, you know, just because it has a little bit of protein in it. But to Autumn's point, I'd probably try it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd taste it, you know?
Exactly.
You need your protein. And so I'm with Autumn on it as well. Like, you know, everybody's like, you got to be healthy. People are not getting enough protein. And so if this is a way to eat your chicken and to drink it.
There we go.
Oh, my God.
While getting drunk? Yeah, go ahead. Go for it.
There we go.
I mean, somebody pointed out that there's, and I saw this today. I was at CVS. They now have protein popcorn, which I believe is a Khloe Kardashian creation, and it's with milk powder that they sprinkle on it. But again, it just goes, yeah. Hey, Dave, let's go over to the control room. Deja, what do you got to say about this?
Look, I feel we've had this protein overload. Someone said, like, who told everyone that everything needs to have protein in it? And I'm like, remember, like Chipotle came out with protein bowls for, like, the people on an
it's a cup of chicken.
So, like, is this Ozempic safe? That's what I want to know. Like, does it count if you got your chicken wings and the special martini?
I will say, from a mental standpoint, I do have protein chips that they have upstairs.
They're so
you know?
good. So good.
They're so
Quest
good,
ones? Yeah,
and it
good.
makes me feel like I'm not having chips.
But to answer Deja's question, who's sending you all this protein? Your trainer, who's like, get off your butt, get up, go work out.
I don't know. Like I think the point is Buffalo Wild Wings is one of those brands that it's like Applebee's when they roll out like dollar Appletinis, people start talking about it. It's a good PR tactic.
Sure.
I don't know necessarily. I think you're going to have people who are curious. It's going to go off the menu very quickly.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I feel like we should have had some to try.
Really?
You know?
Would you have had?
I would have tasted it.
Yeah.
for sure.
Well, after what people saw
Jim,
in your
bring us
live,
back
if you guys
on.
heard Sharen's mouth on Jim's Instagram live during that weather coverage.
Yeah.
It was worth it.
All right. Okay, so we had the poll question up, and I realized we didn't get many votes on this because we were on and off. But there you go. Getting IVF meds at Costco, 65% of you like it.
Yes.
35% of you don't. I feel like we've covered a lot of ground on this show in the limited time we were on tonight. Stick around. Do You Like It or Not with producer Chris over on Fox Local, and you can always be part of the action there. Jump into the Zoom room, jump onto YouTube, jump onto TikTok. Just be part of the action there over on Fox Local. Autumn Joy, we love it. Not nearly enough time with you. Give people a shameless plug for what you're up to.
Hey, just Autumn Joy on Instagram, Joy with an I. I'm the GM of Lit 106. You can catch me Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. on the radio. Yay! Yeah.
All right, Sharon, thank you. It's great to see you again.
Yes, thank
Sharon and I are back tonight at 10 o'clock. Kenneth is back at 11. Of course, the weather team is going to keep you posted all night long with everything else going on. Fox Local on air. Have a great night. We'll see you.
Get into the stories we are talking about, though. I want to put the call out to anyone out there. If you are seeing any severe weather out there in your area, taking a look at our Fox 5 Skycam from Rockville, Maryland, you see how dark it is out there right now. We've seen some flashes of lightning as well. But if you're watching in any of our northern Montgomery counties, any of our western counties out there, and you've seen these big storms, you've seen any damage, join the Zoom room, show it to us. If you can safely do it, we want to see what's going on in your neighborhood. In the meantime, though, we are going to keep things rolling along. If at any point any more tornado warnings pop up, we will go to our weather team on Fox Local. We'll keep streaming on Fox 5 DC's YouTube page, though. With that being said, tonight we are talking about congestion pricing right here in the nation's capital. We are talking about college connections. If it's okay to give up on grammar at some point in life, should smartphones be banned from concerts, and a historically bad night for the Washington Wizards, if you know what I'm talking about. I mean, they reached new levels of suck. We'll talk about that all coming up in just a little bit. First, though, I need some co-hosts, so let's talk about how you can join us live. You're taking a look at the graphic right now. We're streaming a lot of different ways to do it. If you are watching on YouTube on your connected TV, you can just scan that QR code with your phone, or you can type in that meeting ID, 892-0982-4674. If you're watching Fox Local on your connected TV, same rules apply. You can just scan that QR code at any point and hang out with us and share your hot takes. If you're watching a mobile version, if you're watching on your phone, if you're watching fox5dc.com and you can't scan the QR code, you can always go to my Instagram page. We have a link to the Zoom room there. We're also streaming behind the scenes on TikTok Live. You can also leave comments in the YouTube chat as well. We'll check in with all of our virtual co-hosts coming up here in just a moment. First, though, we have to say hello to my in-studio guests, and we've got a pair here tonight. We've got a pair from Lit 106. We are talking about the one and only Media Prince and Autumn Joy live. Welcome to the show.
Hello. I feel like I haven't seen you in a month of
It's
Sundays.
been a hot minute, hasn't
Yes,
it?
it has. It's been a while.
Well, we put the call out to Autumn Joy to come crash us because she was hosting the 7 p.m. version, and you guys got a little interrupted for weather coverage.
Yeah.
So get your money's worth while you're here of Autumn Joy.
And doesn't she look fabulous, ladies and gentlemen?
Guys, cut it
Always
out. Cut it
looks
out.
fabulous.
Keep it
Media
going.
Prince, what's new and exciting with you?
I'm just trying to be great like Autumn Joy. That's all. Just
So silly.
staying consistent with the waves so I can be like Autumn Joy.
I love
And so
it.
far, it's working.
So far, it's working. All right. I love it. And Autumn, since the last time I've seen you, congratulations on your new role with Lit
Thank
106.
you.
Tell everybody all about it.
Yeah, so I'm the newly minted general manager of Lit 106, where Media Prince is one of our stars there, and I do weekdays, Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. to 3 p.m.
The
So
queen of
yeah,
midday.
Queen of
oh, just
midday.
doing a little something.
All right. Well, we appreciate you guys hanging out with us here tonight. You ready to dive right in?
Yeah.
Let's do it.
All right. First up, we are talking about DC's mayor pumping the brakes on a possible congestion tax. Not sure if you saw this. Mayor Muriel Bowser's office released a long overdue study on the plan yesterday with the conclusion that it's not right for downtown DC. This was a proposed policy that would charge drivers as much as $10 a day to enter downtown DC as part of an effort to crack down on traffic and improved air quality. The mayor's office released the 5-year study yesterday from the District Department of Transportation. She says the data is flawed because it relies on pre-pandemic traffic numbers. She also argues the fee would hurt struggling downtown businesses, discourage people from coming into the city, and penalize commuters. However, supporters claim the policy could reduce air pollution and improve transportation equity. Media Prince, I'll start with you. Charging people to come into the city, drive into the city.
So like an easy pass to get to DC now.
Yep, exactly.
Hate it. I don't like it.
Don't like it at all?
I don't like it at all. I'm already having a hard time paying the tickets back. Now I have to pay to come into the city of which I owe the tickets for.
No,
Yeah.
shut it down.
Yeah,
Autumn.
I know New York was doing something like this, and what it did was it did cut down significantly on traffic that they saw in like the tunnels and downtown, all of the things. But I don't think DC has that problem. I don't think we have that much traffic to where we need to charge people for being in the city. I just think this is another way for them to grab money from us. They already were cutting back on the tickets and the cameras and all the things. Now they're trying to implement something else. I don't like it, so I'm happy that the mayor is 100% behind it.
Get rid of the bike lanes.
Don't even get me started on those. Here's what I think. I think people would just end up paying it no matter what because it would just become part of their daily routine.
Yeah.
The same way every single time that fares have gone up on Metro, people still pay it because you have to, and traffic would stay exactly
The same.
Exactly. Yeah.
or you would just have more crowded, unfortunately, Metro trains, which can be its own hassle when you're 10 deep on the platform in the middle of summer and it's hot as hell. All right, Allison's in the Zoom room. Allison, we're going to say hello to you, and we're going to start with you.
Hey, how you guys doing tonight?
We're good. How are you doing? Is it stormy where you are?
It just stopped a few minutes ago.
All right, so you're safe. We're glad to see it. Thank you so much for spending some time with us. So the idea of paying to get into downtown DC, this congestion tax, as of right now, it doesn't look like it's moving forward, but do you like this idea or not?
No, it's a horrible idea. And again, everything always happens to try to make things more expensive for the people. It's almost like it's like charging people more is a punishment. And it's like, why do that? Everything is always supposed to be for the people, for the Americans. But why would you do something like this to people that dedicate their life and their money and even to have to work to be into DC? It just doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah, okay. Melissa's in the Zoom room as well. Melissa, how's the weather where you are?
Melissa mad.
It is bad.
It's bad?
How you doing? It is really bad. The winds are picking up. It's raining really hard, and it's really like pitch black outside. As a former New Yorker, I have friends that called me when the congestion thing started in New York, and people will pull to the side and wait till the time for them not to get charged or go around other places to avoid these tolls. I think this is a stupid idea. Anything to take money from people. I know for sure I will not be paying to go to DC to certain places where I go teach. This is a hell no for me. It's bad enough gas prices and everything else is going up. Now you're going to impose a tax for me to go into DC? No, hell no.
Yep.
Chad's in the Zoom room. Hell no from Melissa. Chad, do you agree?
Well, first of all, I just rode my bike home in the rain, and I just dodged a tornado or two. But no, I think get rid of all cars, make it all bicycles all the time. Cars, I love cars. I'm from upstate New York. I had a 77 Camaro Super Sport, or not Super Sport, but I love cars. But when I got to DC, I imagined a time of never having a car because DC killed my spirit in the car. So I ride my bike or walk or use the metro. Yeah, so block off DC, no cars at all. Yeah.
So basically, you endorse this plan if it would stop more people from driving.
Yeah, and if everybody was like, hey, look, we just start up public transportation, walk, use your bike. This is a pretty easy city to get around on your bike. You can go from one side to the other in about 20 minutes. It's not that bad.
But how long did it take for you to get dry if you out in the rain?
I'm still wet.
I don't disagree. I don't disagree. However, with a combination of both cars and bikes,
yeah, I know I'm exaggerating. I would love to see it, but I know it's not going to happen. But I do use my bike every single day to commute, and I do I know you're anti-bike lane, but I love the bike lanes. I ride down my Wisconsin. I just pray that I don't get killed. Every day.
Well, I mean, trust me, I feel you on that one by far, and I'm not anti-bike lane per se.
I know.
David's in the Zoom room. David, you're an out-of-towner at this point. Do you like this idea of imposing a congestion tax, even though we know it's not necessarily going to move forward at this point? But do you like the idea of it?
I like it with some stipulations. One is I think anybody with a DC license plate should be exempt. We shouldn't be taxing DC residents and their car ownership for using their car. Two, I think they should give permits exempting commuters into DC, so you'd determine what businesses are lawfully being conducted in DC and allow them some commuter driving privileges in, so they don't pay the taxes. The ones who pay these congestion taxes are out of towners, visiting and tourists. The tax should compel them to park in the kiss and ride places at the end of the metro and Metro Inn. And that's, if they want to drive their car in, pay a big tax. And I think charge them to the hilt, charge them to the sky.
David wants to tax the tourist. Unfortunately, if you're incentivizing people to then go to the end of the line and ride the Metro Inn, then you're going to lose the tourism money from people staying downtown. It's a slippery slope for sure. I understand all points of view on this one. And listen, as someone who is from Philadelphia originally, every time you cross the bridge into Jersey, you have to pay to get back. Mm-hmm. You can go into Jersey for free, but then you got to pay to get back across the river. Yeah. So, I understand how they do this, but yeah, right. All right, guys. Next up, if you're sick of sitting in traffic on the roads, this next story could be for you because air taxi testing is on the horizon in the near future. Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy and the FAA announced that 8 proposals have been selected for the brand new Advanced Air Mobility and Electrical Vertical Takeoff and Landing Integration Pilot Program. Got to catch my breath. Hold on. The pilot projects in 26 states will create testing environments for next-generation aircraft. Operational concepts include urban air taxis, regional passenger transportation that includes short takeoff and landing aircraft, cargo and logistic networks, emergency medical response operations, and autonomous flight technologies. The project testing operations are set to begin this summer. Media Prince, I'll start with you one more time. The idea of an air taxi specifically.
So now traffic in the air?
Mm-hmm.
No. I'm still getting used to the Waymo.
Okay, yeah.
The non-driving car.
Right? Now
and
we're
I'm
talking about...
You want to see Media Prince become Media Princess? Add air in it. And I am not. So I'm already just getting on a plane.
Okay.
So an air taxi.
And
are they driving the taxis like they do in DC?
Right.
Yeah, no, I don't think this kind of is scary because what happens if it gets into an accident in the air, right? Like, what fail safes are there in place so that they don't crash down on people down below? I think that we need to just focus on getting everything together on the ground first.
Yeah, the margin of error is definitely
much
slimmer. Melissa, an air taxi, the idea of just being able to, Jetson style, everybody in their flying cars. Do you like this or not?
If I could curse, I would.
You can. It's streaming. Doesn't matter.
Listen, with the incident that happened with the airplane and these 67 people that died and nobody wants to take responsibility for it, and now you're going to put other human beings with AI robots, navigating this? Hell no. Hell no. You're talking about fatalities, everything going wrong. Absolutely not. Nobody taking responsibility if something happens. Hell to the no.
Show of hands in the Zoom room. Anybody like the idea of these air taxis? Allison's kind of in between. Allison, how come?
Yeah, only because, and not now and not for me, because I keep my boots on the ground, but I feel that some people have to get someplace really quick. Like maybe you're Beyonce and you're performing at the show and the limo is not going to make it on time. Girl, you get in that air taxi and you can get there. I think in the future it's going to work for somebody, but now the world is not ready for it yet.
Okay, that makes sense. I get that.
And you said AI is going to be driving? Like, it's not going to be like real people?
There will be some autonomous versions of this.
Okay, yeah. Can you imagine getting in and then you have like a warrant for your arrest and then like the sirens start going off and it takes you to jail instead of where you're supposed to go?
Yeah, that's we're talking about Minority Report and movies like that now. This future.
Yeah.
It's scary. Listen, let's talk about grammar now and whether or not there's a point in your career where it's okay to give up on some of the lessons we learned about the English language. The Wall Street Journal reports that messages from titans of business and politics show a striking disregard for spelling, punctuation, and proper grammar. They cite things like a memo from Twitter founder Jack Dorsey being written almost entirely in lowercase, to the famous hack at Sony pictures that revealed executives send messages riddled with typos. A Georgetown University linguistics professor says that disregarding spelling and grammar can be a power move or a sign of friendliness. Autumn Joy, I'll start with you this time. Ignoring proper grammar and spelling in professional setting. This is the sort of like tech speak taking over in a business setting. Do you like this or not?
I hate this. As an English major in college, this is grinding my gears. The moment that we give up on grammar, punctuation, syntax, all of the things, that's like the end of everything. You know, I think we're in an age now where shorthand is like the top of mind when you're texting your friends, right? You barely spell out the words because you're trying to hurry up and get things out. Well, if you take this away, you know, the kids in school, no, absolutely not. I'm sorry. This pissed me off. If my 14-year-old came home with a paper and it was grammar and everything, nope, redo it, start over from scratch, let's go. Absolutely not.
My exact same sentiments. We're in the era of dumb, and it seems like they keep trying to enhance dumb.
Yeah.
So no, I don't. I already have a hard time trying to understand the generations under us because what the heck are they saying?
Yeah.
And then you add this chat GPT. Listen, at this point, there are so many reasons why and due to AI, there are reasons why you shouldn't even have to write in bad grammar anymore. So, no, I don't agree with this.
Yeah, that's a great point about how many like spell check systems are in place to sort of correct the mistakes that you have made. Now, I'm going to play devil's advocate here, but purely from only speaking for myself. So when I write scripts, for example, if you can see here, everything is in all caps. It's just easier to read off of the paper. It's easier to read off of a prompter. It's easier to read off of your computer. On the other hand, when I send correspondence, if you send it in all caps, it looks like you're shouting at people. And it can come across as a little bit like too intense. On the other hand, what I'll end up inevitably doing is just turning off caps lock and banging it out all in lowercase.
Yeah.
And I feel guilty about it sometimes because some words will auto-correct to like sentence case if it's a proper noun, for example. But someone's name that might be like Grace, which could be both a proper noun, Autumn, for example, a proper noun and just a noun, it won't. And then I feel like I'm disrespecting them by not, but I've already hit send. So I kind of feel a little bit on the fence about this because a lot of times my messages back and forth with like PR people, they're not always. And, you know, sometimes I'm doing business, quote unquote, over Instagram message, for example, and I might not do it as formally as I would.
I guess it depends on the platform.
The platform.
Because I'm not expecting you to be a thesaurus on IG.
Langston, you know, for example.
But if it's an email, take me through there.
Okay. Chad and Laura in the Zoom room. Chad and Laura, the end of the road for grammar, the higher you get in your career. Do you like this or not?
Listen, my girlfriend, Laura, and my bandmate, she has a controversial take on this, all right?
Well, it's not really a take. It just reminded me of the Epstein emails where, like, no one can spell to save their lives, and people are just using whatever punctuation. The most powerful people in the world, and they can't spell.
Just to be clear, none of us involved in that.
No, none of us involved. None of us are involved. We're all just spectators.
But I understand what you're saying. It was embarrassing. In addition to them being horrifying, they were also embarrassing to a certain extent.
Yeah, embarrassing is bad.
Yeah.
David in the Zoom room. David, this idea of grammar kind of, you know, giving up on it at a certain point. Do you like it or not?
Autumn, you just gained a fan from me. I like her take on, from being an English major and advocating for accurate punctuation and grammar. 30 years ago, I would have said English majors are a chump. I'm more mature now and have grown in life, and now I think English majors are a treasure. And I think that corresponds to having a developed and more mature career where the closer you are to where the rubber meets the road and you're doing this stuff, you need quick, short, sentences, bulletized stuff where grammar is less important. The deeper and more involved you get in like policy that guides an organization, the more clearly and better you need to write and better grammar you need to use. So I think it is a valuable skill the higher you go up in an organization.
Allison in the Zoom room, your shirt has some correct grammar and punctuation on it, I can see. I care, I volunteer. What's the third line?
I care, and what's the name of my company? I hope you can't see it because I don't want you to.
Okay, fair enough.
But it's okay. But no, as far as this is concerned, I just had a conversation about this 2 hours ago because I actually, for a living, I have to correct grammar and listen to conversations and correct phone etiquette. And it actually gets me agitated when adults don't use proper sentence structure. It just, because I used to get in trouble for it as a kid. So when I hear adults that say, oh, let me ask you a question, or I'm like, oh my gosh, I just want to leave and snatch my eyebrows out. I can't handle it.
They both just got so triggered when you did that, by the way. They both got so triggered. All right, full disclosure. The banner at the bottom of the screen, Jim had to correct that for me because I spelled grammar wrong. So, I'm case in point, and thank God Jim's here to have my back. Listen, here's what we're going to do. We're going to take a quick break. Coming up on the other side of it, though, we're going to talk about aesthetics and the vibe, the gathering, if you will. We're also going to talk about the Wizards' historically bad night. We'll be right back. With the Lit 106 crew. We've got the Media Prince and we've got Autumn Joy live hanging out with us tonight. So we're just going to keep diving right in. We're going to power right along because we want to know, when it comes to hanging out with friends, does the idea that everything has to be planned and have an aesthetic look kill the idea of just being together. One woman on TikTok says yes. Take a listen.
I remember the days of like my mom, my cousins, my aunt, she's doing impromptu get-togethers. Like somebody bring the food, somebody bring the wine, somebody bring the drinks, or you get there and you figure it all out and they just sit there for hours just laughing, just catching up, just kikiing. It wasn't you bring this kind of board and you wear this specific color and we all gotta wear the same color scheme. I love a good theme down, but everything doesn't need to be so aesthetic. Everything doesn't need to be so planned out. Everything doesn't need to be so content ready.
Everything doesn't need to be so content ready. And the content is key here because I blame social media for this. That was B. Scott, by the way. Media Prints, every hangout having that have the right aesthetic. Do you like it or not?
No, it doesn't have to be. I don't like it. I think I agree with what she's saying. The whole reason of us getting together is to get turned up and not kind of remember what we're doing. So, but I also, there's a flip side of it too, because due to social media and TikTok and Instagram, there's a piece of it that you may want to aesthetically grab some content. Now, not saying you have to do it all the time, but you may want to do, like I know me and my friends, we want to do the different colors and bring a charcuterie board of that color. We just want to do it just because it's a trend and we just want to see what can we do with it. So I think things like that are still necessary. But honestly, we do have a lot of people that are going for the aesthetically pleasing everything. They not fun no way.
Yeah. I think there's a difference between aesthetic and theme, right? So with me and my friends, we don't necessarily need an aesthetic, but I do want like a theme. Are we doing a game night? Are we going bowling? Are we just going to have a movie night, a pajama jam? And I think when you get to a certain age, you just need something to look forward to. So yeah, give me like a good, like fun little vibe, you know, something cool.
So this idea that everything needs, but it needs to be curated in a certain way.
Yeah.
Is that?
Yeah.
Well, they must have alcohol.
Yes.
Okay. Well, I
mean that's the first.
If you show up at my house, it's a safe bet. There's going to be booze there. Melissa, do you agree with this? Do you think that this aesthetic is kind of killing the hangout, or the demand to have an aesthetic or curate everything ruins everything?
Absolutely. You know, where I grew up, if somebody lived 2 or 3 blocks away, if somebody lived, a mile away, you get the sodas, you get the Chinese rice, you get the, the noodles, you get the pizza, and we'll meet at somebody's house at whatever time. We didn't have to color coordinate. We didn't have to say, okay, I need you to wear this or don't wear that. It just takes the fun out of it. Now, there's a time and place for everything, and I agree with Media Prince. There definitely has to be alcohol. No question. However, this aesthetic thing, really because of social media, I asked everybody to wear blue because it was my favorite color, but they didn't have to, they just did it out of a kind of love for me for my birthday. But no, it really is killing the mood. Yeah.
Allison, do you agree? Is it killing the vibe, or do you like it? I know you're going to show up on theme.
Yeah, and you know what, Chris? I think that message was for me because I'm just learning that bothers people. I didn't know. Sorry. I'm just learning people because I overplan and I'm an Aries. I can't help it. We're over the top and we're extra. That is what we do. But now that I know when people say it's too much, then I'll kind of back down just a little bit.
Okay.
No, be you.
There's a difference if they know that that's you.
Theme. I do. Yeah.
There's a difference if that's already been you. Like we know your friends are gonna know. This ain't nothing new.
Well, I don't have friends, so can y'all invite me to the party, please?
Yeah, come on.
Always invited. All right, guys, we got 2 more stories we want to try to power through. The next one, the debate over phones at shows, all right? This time it's because of Harry Styles. You may have seen he did his one night only Manchester show. It got recorded and then posted on Netflix. It makes sense in that sense. He banned phones from it, but it was also being recorded and it was being broadcast a little later. He didn't want things to leak out ahead of time. But this idea that more and more artists want to ban phones at their gigs, some fans say if you're paying hundreds, if not thousands of dollars for a ticket to a show, you should be able to capture the memory. So Media Prince, banning phones at shows. Do you like this or not?
I don't like this because I like to record. Now, I don't particularly want to post it per se, but I want to have that memory. And you're right. If I've paid, it should be a tier. If I got cheap seats, okay, I don't need to take my phone out. I'm too far anyway. But if I am in the
lower bowl,
if I'm in between 700 and up prices, if you don't get off me, I'm bringing my phone in here.
I'm on the other side of that.
that. I like the idea of not having the phone. I want people to kind of be in the moment, you know, like to really take it all in and to remember everything. Because when you got that phone out, you're not fully like immersed in the experience. You're just trying to record so you can look at it later. Well, if you know that they're recording it for later, you'll know you'll have it later. So just, you know, stay immersed in the experience.
Oh, but also this too, because we have these new great iPhones. So if you do have bad seats, having the phone out does help because you can zoom in and it looks like you're on the front stage. So it's just like, if you have crappy seats, you're just screwed.
Yeah. Chad, you're an artist, you're a musician. Do you like the idea of banning smartphones from shows?
I love it. There's some things that are already banned, like the dance floors. There's a lot of places like Flash and stuff. And then we talked about this in the past, how people aren't dancing because they're afraid to get caught dancing, right? So we ban the smartphones and people feel a little more comfortable enjoying the show so they're not being filmed. You don't know, like even you're just getting caught by somebody else. Also, comedy shows, they make you put your phones in a little bag so you can't record the comment because things taken out of context, you could really get in trouble if you're like you don't see the whole story, you just see the punchline or something like that.
100%.
Yes, I'm for it.
Yeah, 100%. And I also said Broadway shows. There's usually kind of an unwritten rule. They tell you no flash photography. They tell you not to record. But at the same time, I wish that he just had a moment where they said, all right, phones out, everybody. This is your chance to take a picture. Because like I said, the last Broadway show I went to was because I went to go see Keanu Reeves. I wanted to take a picture and remember that, for example. But they did an extended curtain call and everyone could do it after this. Anyway, let's get to this last story because we got to talk about the Washington Wizards who found themselves on the wrong side of history last night. They gave up 83 points in one game, but that's not what's interesting about it. They gave up 83 points to one player. We're talking about Miami's Bam Adebayo. Adebayo made 20 field goals, 7 3-pointers, and a staggering 36 of 43 free throw attempts. The 83-point performance, now number 2 on the list of most points scored in a single game by one player behind Wilt Chamberlain. The Wizards lost 150 to like 129. Autumn, is this embarrassing for the Washington Wizards? Is it okay to, I mean, they're getting dunked on literally and figuratively now.
I mean, I feel like embarrassing and Washington Wizards go on the same page.
Hand.
We're used to it at this point, you know, when it comes to sports in this area. But I actually watched this live. My 14-year-old was like excited, jumping around the living room while this was happening. And you know what he said? He was like, well, how do we know Wilt Chamberlain really scored all those points? Do we have proof? I said, excuse me?
It was only 1962, not 1862.
Exactly.
All right, we're out of time. Thank you to everybody who joined us in the Zoom room. Thanks everybody watching on YouTube and Fox Local. Thank you to the Lit 106 team, Autumn Joy, and the Media Prince. We'll see you back here tomorrow night from Producer Jim. I'm Producer Chris. Have a great night.
Right now in Fox 5 News, on the plus, some strong storms moving across our area tonight. As you look at the live radar, are we out of the woods for severe weather? Also, a van barrels into the White House security barricade. What we are learning about the man who is behind the wheel. And Iran is now trying to launch an economic war with the U.S. What they are doing to cause major pain in Americans' pocketbooks. Thanks for joining us for the news at 8 on this Wednesday night. I'm Tisha Lewis, and we want to start with the weather as you look live outside from our camera at National Harbor. Let's get right to Caitlin Roth, who's been following some severe storms and even a tornado warning in the past hour in Montgomery County. Caitlin, how are we looking right now?
So luckily, Tisha, most of those storms have passed east of our area. We are no longer worried about tornado warnings here. However, we were on the air for a good chunk of time to follow 2 warnings, one from Frederick County into Carroll County, another one, Montgomery County, you mentioned, into Howard County. No reports of any tornadoes, but there have been some wind damage assessments that have come in. So we'll take a look at that in a second. But first, there's radar where that line of severe storms is now east of Baltimore, pushing into Delaware, northeastern Maryland, and way out of our area. So for all intents and purposes, the threat has diminished, and the tornado watch has now been dropped for our area. During those warnings, a severe thunderstorm watch was issued for Prince George's County and points east, but that will be dropped for our area shortly, I suspect. Storms got going over the mountains earlier this afternoon, picked up some intensity as they moved into northern Montgomery County. That's where a lot of our wind damage reports are coming from, and that extended into Howard County, where you see this report out of Friendship, trees down blocking Route 94 near Annapolis Rock. So there are plenty of issues in terms of debris on the ground thanks to those straight line winds. Still seeing some showers and storms departing BWI, otherwise quiet at Dulles. And Reagan never even got the storms. They never really made it into D.C., just a few showers. Overnight tonight, more rain moves back in by daybreak. And believe it or not, temperatures are falling at such a fast rate. We have to talk about snow mixing in tomorrow. That's right. You heard correctly. I'll have more on that coming up in my full 7-day. Tisha?
That's pretty incredible. We are looking forward to your 7-day, Caitlin. And remember, you at home can take the Fox 5 weather team with you on the go with the Fox Local Washington, D.C. app. Scan the QR code on your screen or visit our website to download it now. Fox Local has the weather as well as top stories and specials from us here at Fox 5. Police identifying the man wanted for a deadly mass shooting at a Dumfries basketball court. 19-year-old Jayshawn Zomari Williams on your screen is accused of killing 18-year-old Lewis Anthony Boone on Monday night after a fight broke out during a pickup game. 4 other people were hurt but are expected to recover. One of the injured teens has also been arrested. Meantime, we're also learning more about the victim killed in the gunfire. We're told Boone was a Norfolk State University student majoring in mass communications and general broadcast. He was also a member of the school newspaper where he worked as a photographer. A 17-year-old charged with bringing a loaded gun into school is being held without bond. It happened yesterday at Gaithersburg High School. Staff say they received an anonymous tip yesterday morning and alerted police. A search of the student's backpack revealed a loaded handgun with an extended magazine and obliterated serial number. The teen is being charged as an adult.
Feel great about the fact that an anonymous tip brought this latest gun to the attention of the authorities. We have this program about see something, say something with weapons. We need to, maybe it's time for another round of going to every high school in the county and talking to young people.
Maryland has an anonymous 24/7 tip line to report any school or student safety concerns. Tonight, we've learned the man who crashed into a security barricade near the White House overnight is expected in court tomorrow. Details surrounding the crash and his arrest still remain unclear. Fox 5's Bob Barnard in Northwest with the latest.
We are across the street from where this happened. This is the corner of H Street Northwest and Vermont Avenue. Across the way there is the Dolly Madison house adjacent to Lafayette Park. The car, a Ford Edge with Ohio plates, crashed the barricade here around 6:30 this morning. The Secret Service says nobody was hurt. The driver detained and being questioned. Charges pending. MPD's explosive ordnance disposal team responded, checked out the car, and declared it was safe. This is a temporary security checkpoint, an entrance to the construction sites for the new White House ballroom and at Lafayette Park, which has been closed to the public. Of course, the big questions for investigators: who is the driver and what was he up to?
They're going to dig into his background. They're going to find out where he's from. They're going to look into the people he hung out with, because the one thing they need to assess now, too, is, was this person the probe? Was this person saying, all right, you're going to be the guy who sees how close we can get before somebody actually stops us? And then we can modify our plan around that.
I mean, I think it goes just to the environment, and we have crazy people around here. So I don't know what they were intending. I don't know what the purpose was, but I work in this building, so, I think we see this kind of stuff a lot because we're close to the White House.
The president was inside the White House at the time. You can see a sniper perched on the rooftop. There's a wider perimeter around the White House grounds because of all the construction. But with past attempts on President Trump's life and the recent declaration by Iran's leaders that they want to kill the president, security is tight as ever. Jeff James is a retired Secret Service agent who served on President George W. Bush's detail.
This isn't the first time we've seen a country call for the assassination of an American president. During the War on Terror, after Saddam Hussein's sons Uday and Qusay were killed, the Iranians put a $30 million bounty on each of President Bush's daughters. So this isn't the first time we've seen this kind of threat directed at a president or his family, and the Secret Service is always prepared for it.
And as we're back at the scene here, you see investigators have been here all day taking pictures, taking notes. But at last check from the U.S. Secret Service, from D.C. Police, from the U.S. Attorney's Office, they have not identified the driver or told us anything about a potential motive. Guys?
People are returning to a Northwest D.C. apartment building. A gas leak was reported on Cortlandt Street off of Connecticut Avenue just after 3 this afternoon. Investigators say it appears someone drilled into a gas line. Crews found the leak and aired out the building until readings returned to normal. Now to the latest in the war with Iran. The Pentagon tells Congress the first week of the war cost the U.S. $11.3 billion, and the war is now morphing into an economic conflict as Iran tries to drive up the price of oil. Fox News correspondent Caroline Elliott has more.
After 12 days of strikes in the Middle East, President Trump now says the war with Iran could end soon, telling Axios there's practically nothing left to target.
We're doing something that nobody ever thought was possible to do.
But is Iran ready to stop fighting? While the U.S.-Israeli operations have limited Iran's ability to strike back, the regime is ratcheting up pressure in another way at the gas pump.
We will never allow even a single liter of oil to pass through the Strait of Hormuz for the benefit of the United States.
The 100-mile-long strait is one of the most important oil choke points in the world, but it shut down earlier this week after reports of Iran potentially placing mines in the waterway. They're also hitting oil facilities in the region.
I think it shows that they're losing. It shows desperation that they would do that.
In response, the U.S. has taken out dozens of Iranian ships capable of laying mines. President Trump encouraging ships to use the channel, threatening Iran with consequences at a level never seen before.
We take them out, or we could take them out by this afternoon. In fact, within an hour, they literally would never be able to build that country back.
U.S. gas prices have gone up 17% since the start of the war, but the president predicts those prices will go down soon. In New York, Caroline Elliott, Fox News.
The International Energy Agency is releasing a record 400 million barrels of emergency oil to calm surging energy prices. The U.S. will also release 172 million barrels from the Strategic Petroleum Reserve to help. The move comes as Iran's attacks on shipping in the Strait of Hormuz have slashed oil exports from the region. Meantime, inflation held steady in February before the U.S.-Israel attack on Iran sent energy prices surging. Consumer prices rose 2.4% year over year, with gas prices up 0.8% for the month. Economists warn the spike in energy costs could push inflation above 3% this month, which could put pressure on consumer spending and Fed policy decisions. Millions of dollars in federal funding could be needed for the next decade in order to fix the damage from January's historic sewage spill of the Potomac River. Today, D.C., Maryland, and Virginia leaders all agreeing federal funding is needed for the next 5 to 10 years. This follows yesterday's alarming report that the river is still being contaminated, and after the Potomac River keepers blasted D.C. Water, which has been working to repair the interceptor.
It's not just a single jurisdiction that's going to be on the hook for this, but you saw the numbers, and we're looking at, hundreds of millions of dollars that are going to have to be appropriated to make the improvements over a 5 and a 10-year time horizon.
Right now, the Army Corps of Engineers has taken over the cleanup process. And Alexandria leaders will hold a town hall next week to discuss the Potomac River sewage spill. The meeting on March 19th will include city, health, and water agency representatives who will address response efforts and future prevention. Residents will have a chance to ask questions and learn more about steps taken since the January incident. The debate over the fate of East Potomac Golf Course was back in court today. 2 local golfers, along with the D.C. Preservation League, are suing the Trump administration over plans to revamp the East Potomac Golf Course. It's been open to the public for more than 100 years, and the plaintiffs say the plan could eventually turn it into a private club. Supporters of the redevelopment say the president wants to modernize the aging course and restore prestige to the facility. Still ahead at 8, we are just a few days into early voting in Virginia's redistricting battle, and new data shows some interesting trends. We'll break it down for you, and more wild weather spawns tornadoes across the Midwest. See the damage they left behind as people there start the cleanup effort. We're back after this. Welcome back. As early voting in Virginia's redistricting battle continues, new data shows people in Northern Virginia are not showing up like voters in other parts of the state. It comes as more money and more candidates push the issue before voters. Fox 5's Hope Bash is in Virginia tonight with what we're learning.
Now, one thing to note, it is still early days in early voting, about 40 days left to go until the election. And right now, 73,000 people have cast their ballots early, data showing that Northern Virginia is lagging behind a bit, but there could be good reason for that.
They don't open up a lot of the sites for early voting until a little later in the process. So it may be a product of, you have a big county, not many spots to vote until later, so that might be why.
Now, early voting started in the Commonwealth on March 6th for the statewide redistricting referendum. The plan could help Democrats win 4 more seats in the House of Representatives as we see similar battles play out in states like Texas, Ohio, and North Carolina. Now, let me break down some of the numbers from those 73,000 early ballots cast, specifically in Northern Virginia. This is all data from the Virginia Public Access Project. Loudoun has seen just over 2,000 voters, Fairfax about 4,600, Prince William at 1,100. That may seem like a lot, but it is less than 1% of registered voters in those counties. Now, in more Republican-leaning areas, however, we are seeing 2, 3, 4% of registered voters already weighing in. But as you heard, more polling places will open in Northern Virginia closer to the election. So, for example, 3 are currently up and running in Fairfax, with an additional 26 locations set to open on April 11th. We're also seeing new names join the race. Today, former Virginia First Lady Dorothy McAuliffe announcing her campaign for Congress in Virginia's anticipated 7th district. And let's talk money for a second. The pro-redistricting group, Virginians for Fair Elections, has raised about $22 million, while the GOP group, Virginians for Fair Maps, has about $350,000.
It is a lopsided story right now. The people trying to make this happen are throwing money at this, and the people against it are struggling to raise money.
And you are going to be seeing a lot more of those ads everywhere you look as we come closer and closer to that April 21st election. Guys.
Multiple tornadoes and grapefruit-sized hail were reported as a violent severe weather outbreak charged through the Midwest. The storms left devastating damage south of Chicago. Now some anxious homeowners are getting their first look at the destruction while shelters remain open for displaced residents.
We seen the weather turning bad, and by the time we got back to the room, before I got out the car, hailstones start falling. The roof came off the building.
Kinky Community College will be open. Red Cross is there. We will have food. We'll have drinks. We'll have some shelter. People don't have utilities. They can get there, and pets are welcome.
These storms came just days after another major system brought more than 18 tornadoes to the Midwest, leaving at least 8 people dead and a dozen more injured. Back here at home, turning to our weather, here's a live look outside from our camera at the wharf, and some of that severe weather making its way into parts of our area. Caitlin Roth back with a check on what we can expect from Mother Nature tonight and the days ahead. Caitlin.
Yeah, a total whiplash, Tisha, because after record high heat the past 2 days in the 80s, severe thunderstorms this afternoon, we are taking a major step back into winter, plummeting temperatures, a cold rain, and in fact, yes, some snow mixing in. I mean, pretty wild when you think about the fact that we could have a near 50-degree temperature difference from this afternoon to tomorrow afternoon, but a really significant cold front moving through the area. 86 was our record high today at Reagan and Dulles, 85 at BWI. I mean, we only average highs of 55, so it's 30 degrees above normal. It's also the earliest in the year we've ever hit a temperature as high as 86. Well, you can tell where the storms hit. Rain cooled in the 60s, generally north of I-66 and Route 50, as well as the Beltway. D.C. virtually untouched, at least at the airport, 77 there, 72 in Quantico, 82 in Manassas, 83 in Fredericksburg, and 84 in Leonardtown. So all the energy was focused north and west of downtown D.C., and that line of severe thunderstorms that prompted several tornado warnings now well off to the north and east, pushing past Baltimore up towards Philadelphia. Plenty of energy extends back along the actual front, which is still held up across the Midwest. But that will pass through tomorrow morning. As a result, we'll start off with rain, but as temperatures really tank, it could get cold enough for some snowflakes to mix in. Now, obviously, we're not talking about anything sticking. It has been in the 80s the past couple of days, unusually warm, but now we're going into a little unusually cold. Here's Futurecast, which shows quiet the rest of tonight, but look for some showers to redevelop by daybreak. That's the rain that you see out to the west. The models, at least this one, has been very consistent in bringing in enough cold air to change us to snow, or at least mix us with snow by about mid-morning to mid-afternoon. That would be a several-hour period of falling snow if this model's correct. A lot of the other models have this as well. Nothing that's going to stick, and I tend to think it'll be more of wet snowflakes with rain, but regardless, that's what the models are saying, with some rapid late-day clearing, meaning we could see the sun come out before all is said and done. I know showing Futurecast snowfall amounts is kind of crazy because nothing's going to stick, but it shows the potential is there for up to an inch plus in some spots. Doesn't mean will actually accumulate that, but really testament to the cold air that's coming flying in. So we start at 55 tomorrow and fall into the 30s by late day. By Friday, we're back to normal March weather, partly cloudy and windy with that high of 58 degrees. Jumping ahead to the 7-day, weekend looks seasonably cool. Our next cold front comes in Monday, and that looks to bring in even stronger winter-like air, meaning high temperatures on St. Patrick's Day, barely hitting 40, still chilly into next Wednesday. Tisha, back over to you.
Caitlin, thanks so much. Still to come, good news for international travelers after DHS restarted its global entry program, but the partial government shutdown impacts are still far from over. And Jeffrey Epstein's accountant goes before a House committee, why lawmakers think following the money will help get answers in the Epstein case. Next. More TSA staffers are calling out as the DHS shutdown grinds on. That means there are fewer screeners for more airline passengers. Low staffing rates are to blame, with unscheduled absences by security screeners more than doubling since the shutdown began almost a month ago. Call-out rates climbed into double digits this week at some airports after employees missed their second paycheck in a row.
Here they are telling you they want to see reforms. But I am here to tell you that they have not come to the table.
We can take care of TSA. We can take care of the Coast Guard, CISA, and FEMA today. We're ready to make sure these workers are paid.
Democrats introduced legislation to fund the entire department except ICE and Customs and Border Protection, which they say are in need of major reforms. But Senate Majority Leader John Thune says that's a non-starter, meaning these travel troubles are likely to continue. Meanwhile, the Department of Homeland Security has restarted the Global Entry Program. It allows pre-approved travelers to use expedited kiosks. It was suspended last month, leaving those passengers to face long security lines. Authorities reassigned some customs workers to the program as talks on Capitol Hill remain stalled. A House panel grilled Jeffrey Epstein's longtime accountant in a deposition behind closed doors today. In Richard Kahn's opening statements, he told lawmakers he had not personally seen evidence of Epstein's sexual abuse. Representative James Comer, the Republican chair of the House Oversight Committee, says Kahn is the latest witness to testify that they had never seen President Trump doing anything wrong with Epstein. There is much more ahead in our next half hour. The federal government heads to court on a challenge to immigration arrests in D.C. without a warrant or cause. More when we're back. Right now at 8:30, students are back at a St. Mary's County High School one day after an on-campus stabbing. We'll have the latest on the attack. Plus, a federal judge already moved to block some immigration arrests in D.C., and another hearing today could determine how far that order goes. And we are seeing progress along the Tidal Basin. The cherry blossoms are officially at stage 1. A closer look coming up. Thanks for staying with us at 8. Up first this half hour, a high school student has been released from the hospital after being stabbed at Great Mills High School in St. Mary's County. Fox 5's Julie Donaldson has new details years after another deadly encounter there.
This happened at the same high school back in March of 2018. A student brought his father's handgun on campus, shooting 2 other students, killing one, injuring the other, before he himself was killed before school started. Now, an SRO responded to the scene then, and they had to respond yesterday when a stabbing took place in the boys' bathroom. The suspect was arrested. The weapon was recovered, but this is still an ongoing investigation.
I just heard what was going on, and we saw the helicopter land because, we live right there. And we watched it go around a circle and land. And then I came outside and I heard what had happened. Somebody got stabbed and they had the stabber in custody. So it was kind of, he wasn't running around causing a threat, and that was glad too.
While we do not know what led to the incident, we do know a 19-year-old male student suffered a single stab wound to the lower chest, just beneath his pectoral muscle. He was airlifted from the baseball field to a nearby hospital just before 1 p.m. and was released earlier today. The suspect is 17 years old and is being charged as an adult with first and second-degree assault and possession of a folding pocket knife on school grounds. We were unable to obtain charging documents because he is a minor. Students were held in their classrooms while the school resource officer made sure the area was safe.
There was very swift action by our SRO, who was on scene, able to get there as quickly and as safely as possible. He was able to disseminate information in real time because he is within that school. The help from our medical professionals who arrived on scene and quickly assessed the victim, as well as the nursing staff at the school, they did a phenomenal job.
The sheriff's office telling Fox 5 they have SROs in all schools, and they even have part-time student resource officers in elementary schools for when unfortunate circumstances like this come up.
Julie, thanks so much. Meanwhile, the Anne Arundel County Police Department and the FBI are now offering a $1 million reward in their search for Badresh Kumar Patel. He's wanted on the heels of the 11-year death anniversary of his wife, who police say he murdered. They say he attacked her with a large knife during a discussion inside their Hanover workplace back in April of 2015. Patel is now one of the FBI's top 10 most wanted fugitives. D.C. residents rallied outside the federal courthouse today, a hearing over whether the Trump administration is defying a court order blocking warrantless civil immigration arrests in the district. Fox 5's chief legal correspondent Katie Barlow is in Northwest tonight with more.
Judge Beryl Howell, who is an Obama appointee, appeared concerned at times during today's hearing that ICE and DHS may not be complying with her order that blocks them from making these civil immigration arrests without a warrant. Now, there is an exception to her order when ICE agents can say that there is probable cause to believe that each individual that they arrest without a warrant poses a risk of escaping. Now, what that exception looks like and how it plays out in real life was the subject of some debate during today's hearing. And Howell is also questioning whether she can even weigh in at this point because the government has chosen to appeal her order.
We fought for those policies, and this administration is actively making it easier for D.C. residents to be deported, and that ain't right. But we're going to continue fighting and organizing.
That was a group of protesters who gathered outside the courthouse before today's hearing. A group of immigrants who were arrested in D.C. without warrants challenged the Trump administration's policy on these warrantless immigration arrests. And one plaintiff's story recently made headlines after someone purporting to be with the Metropolitan Police Department told him they found his car that he reported stolen and then arrested him when he showed up to retrieve it. One issue is what counts as an escape risk, the exception that would allow an ICE agent to make a warrantless arrest. In a memo to all ICE agents, DHS says someone can be considered likely to escape if they are, quote, unlikely to be located at the scene of the encounter. Now, Howell really pressed the government on that language today, using hypotheticals of someone walking to work or waiting at a bus stop or going to the library. And the government equally pushed back against Howell's hypotheticals, saying there were a number of circumstances where these warrantless arrests would be justified in her hypothetical examples. Howell asked for further briefing from both sides as to whether she can weigh in here, given the pending appeal.
The average driver in Maryland's D.C. suburbs loses more than $3,500 a year because of roads that are rough, congested, and lacking important safety features. That's according to a new report from Trip A, National Transportation Research nonprofit based in D.C. The report examines factors including road and bridge conditions, as well as congestion, to advocate for better transportation funding benefiting all drivers.
At a time where I think everyone is concerned with affordability, we think when you look at the additional costs that the public pays because the transportation system is inadequate, it's just unfortunately another cost that the public bears.
The full report is now available at tripnet.org. The Woodrow Wilson Memorial Drawbridge will be open multiple times tomorrow and Friday to allow a tugboat to pass through. Drivers on the Capitol Beltway should expect delays and follow traffic advisories. There will be additional stoppages for routine construction tomorrow night at 10. Still ahead, we'll show you the new steps YouTube is taking to help high-profile figures spot deep fake videos, and why March is the month you may want to think about diversifying your diet. Some new guidelines from the government when we're back. Microsoft is backing AI company Anthropic in a court fight with the Pentagon. Anthropic wants a federal judge to block the Trump administration from labeling the company a national security supply chain risk. This comes after Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth broke ties after pushing to use Anthropic's AI model, Claude, without safeguards. Microsoft argues the move could harm other government contractors, forcing them to operate under new, vague restrictions. YouTube announced it is expanding its likeness detection tool to protect influential figures' identities against deepfakes. It's a pilot program for a select group of officials, journalists, and political candidates. It works by scanning for someone's identity. If it detects the content as a deepfake, the person can request the removal of the content. To enroll, you must verify your identity. And hundreds of thousands of taxpayers are facing months-long delays on their IRS refunds as the agency phases out paper checks. Lawmakers on the House Ways and Means Committee claim 830,000 people have received notices. The delays affect people without bank accounts or direct deposit information, including many low-income, disabled, or Americans living abroad. This also comes after the Trump administration laid off thousands of IRS employees and overhauled agency leadership. March is National Nutrition Month. It's a time for raising awareness about the benefits of a healthy diet. Updated U.S. dietary guidelines by the Trump administration encourage people to eat fruits and vegetables throughout the day, prioritize protein, and incorporate healthy fats into their meals. This while limiting highly processed foods and items with added sugars.
We know consistently that people are not eating a lot of fruits and vegetables, and if you look at your plate, are there even fruits and vegetables there?
Data from the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention reveals more than half of the country gets most of their daily calories from ultra-processed foods. Still ahead, we are 6 months from the start of the NFL season. See who the Washington Commanders are signing and the holes they still need to fill on their roster. And it is a true sign of spring. The cherry blossoms have reached stage 1. We'll have more on that progress and a reminder of when peak bloom will be this year. But first, let's check in with Caitlin.
Yeah, it certainly felt like spring the past couple of days, Tisha. In fact, even summer-like. But we are about to make a hard turn back into winter. Wait till you see this forecast tomorrow, which features the chance of some snow. That and a dramatic temperature drop after the break.
Welcome back. Maryland's Attorney General has filed another lawsuit against the Trump administration, this time over a new request for colleges and universities. Anthony Brown, along with 17 other attorneys general, are challenging a federal requirement that schools submit additional student information to the Department of Education. The data is meant to track whether colleges are following a Supreme Court ruling that banned the use of race in admissions. But the lawsuit argues this could lead to errors and potential risks to student privacy. It is March and the cherry blossoms are inching toward peak bloom. The National Park Service announced the trees are officially at stage 1 out of 6. Our Gwen Tolbert is on Blossom Watch at the Tidal Basin.
As things are going at this pace, I'm going to be down here at least every week, but I'm telling you, it's a beautiful day to be down here so far. I know Caitlin's talking about some inclement weather, but we were here just a week ago with no expectations whatsoever that we would be back this week, right to the day, talking about stage 1 of these cherry blossoms. Take a little look at the trees there, and you can see this was really a surprise, but it's really the beginning of what will eventually become breathtaking beauty that we all love and embrace. Now, our cherry blossom expert from the National Park Service, Mike Litters, was here, and I asked him, was this too early? And here's what he had to say. Take a listen.
Mild winter last year, we hit stage 1 on March 11th, which is today. So we're, at least compared to last year, we're right on schedule where we were. These couple of days in a row of temperatures in the mid 80s, that has really accelerated us.
Well, we've got some video to show you a little close-up of those trees, and just take a look at this, that it's really going to be something we're going to look forward to seeing. And the beauty of them by the time they do come full blossom around the tidal basin. We spoke to a couple of people who were tourists in the area about how they enjoy it and what their opinions were. And also Mike talked to us just about how those trees would hold up. Take a listen.
Growing up, I got to see them a few times. It was really beautiful, so maybe someday we'll get to come back and see them in peak.
We ask everyone to help us become a cherry tree protector. So don't pick the blossoms, don't break the branches off, don't climb the trees. A lot of them are older and more fragile than you might expect. And when you can, stay on the walkways and the paved sidewalks. Keep all that foot traffic off the fragile tree roots.
Well, back out here live, we've seen a lot of people down here today, you know, because the weather's been so great. But a lot of people were even taking photographs of the trees today with the buds and really talking to us about just how excited they are that it won't be too long before this entire area will be really in full bloom in pink and white. Mike also told me that with the colder weather that's coming in the next few days, that, you know, the trees, you know, are going to kind of hold their own with that, but also he wants to make sure that everybody understands and realizes they got to pack their patience, because when all the people come down for the festival, it's really going to be quite an event. Back to you.
We'll be watching. Turning to the weather now, here's a live look outside from our camera at the Prince William County Marina. There it is. Caitlin Roth joining us with a final check on the forecast at this hour. And a major change headed our way. I hope folks enjoyed this 80-degree weather while it lasted, because winter is not over just yet.
I know, it's true, Tisha. This is going to be a serious whipping back into winter tomorrow, as we have become accustomed to not just above normal, but wildly above normal temperatures the past couple of days. Record-breaking and record-setting in terms of timing with those 80-degree days both yesterday and today, no doubt lend a hand to pushing those cherry blossoms into stage 1. But those cherry blossoms are going to come to a bit of a halt in terms of their growth. Temps are falling dramatically through much of Thursday. It's raining in the morning, but it'll get so cold by the end of the day that rain may end mixed with some snow. Yes, nothing like going from 86 degrees one day to snow the following. This will get out of here late Friday, and then a cool and gusty afternoon is expected as we head into the weekend. Today, we started the morning at 58, very mild, made it all the way up to 86 degrees, which was obviously a record for the day. The previous record was 79, so shattered it. It was 31 degrees above normal. So when you have that sort of unprecedented heat and you've got a cold winter-like air mass moving in, you're going to get some strong storms, which is exactly what we saw. Live lookout at National Harbor this evening did not see any rain here or at the airport, as all the activity stayed north of downtown D.C. So it's still 77 degrees. currently at Reagan National. 72 in Quantico, 82 in Fredericksburg, 83 in Leonardtown. It's clear where the rain did not reach because we're much cooler where it did. To the north, temperatures have fallen back into the 60s. All the energy with the storms now off to the north or well off to our east. Severe thunderstorm watch has been canceled for much of our area, and what's left of that squall line that pushed through. Now up over northern Delaware, South Jersey, up into Philadelphia. Severe thunderstorms still with this line that really held together as it formed over the mountains, and now several hours later is quite a few states away, leaving a trail of destruction in its wake. These are all storm reports, wind damage, and there's been several, from a barn blown over out in Frederick County to lots of trees down across I-70 from Montgomery County into Howard County. You get in a little bit closer, and you can really follow that line straight through the northern Montgomery County. This is when they issued a tornado warning. No tornado, but plenty of straight line wind damage. As we go through Futurecast, quieting overnight before rain fills back in close to daybreak. There's those showers at about 6, 7 a.m. But notice how quickly they start to mix, change over to snow. This will not be snow that accumulates, but it will be kind of the white rain that could be coming down for several hours. I mean, if you look at the models, it's really showing a snow day tomorrow. Nothing that would stick, no, but it's cold enough and temperatures are plunging into the 30s that all of a sudden you've got the winter coats back out. And that's one model, but our planner confirms it. Look at those temperatures fall. You're near 60 at 6 a.m., but by noon you're in the 30s with snow. We might even clear by the end of the day and get some sunshine to keep this forecast even weirder. Ahead to the weekend, we normalize a bit, and it looks pretty seasonable. Yeah, cool, upper 50s, low 60s, but that is average for mid-March, and it looks like we stay dry before our next cold front comes in the following week. So our first round's tomorrow, much cooler, but then even stronger cold by the beginning of next week, showing on your 7-day. Rain on Monday, falling temps, highs near 40 on Tuesday. That's your 7-day. Tisha, back over to you.
Talk about mixed bag, Caitlin. Thanks so much. The Commanders getting strong by signing more players for its defense. However, some fans hope they make more deals to help out quarterback Jaden Daniels. Fox 5's Trevor Ricardo has fan reaction in Landover.
It is the start of the NFL's league year, and what that means is that many of those contracts that we've been talking about can become official today. Now, this Washington Commanders organization have made many upgrades, many of them, though, on the defensive side of the ball. As we take a look now at some of those additions, this right here at the edge position has been key for this team, whether we're talking about edge rushers Odafe Owe, K'Von Chaisson, linebacker Leo Chenal, or defensive back Amik Robertson. This Commanders defense needed that help, especially with the pass rush, as after Dorrance Armstrong went down last season, they struggled mightily. Owe, a former first-round draft pick who recorded 7.5 sacks last season. Chaisson with the Patriots also recorded 7.5 sacks, and Leo Chenal was a virtual Swiss Army knife for the Kansas City Chiefs throughout his career. All in all, on paper, this defense has gotten better, and that is something that Commanders fans want to raise hell about.
We still need a receiver. Yeah. We still need a receiver and a tight end.
They're not going to give him the support that he needs because of his size. He's going to continue to get hurt, or they're going to continue to pull him out.
But they need to get him some help. Yeah. As far as wide receivers, and that's about it. As far as defense,
speaking about that offensive side of the ball, it's all about putting help around Jaden Daniels and putting him in a position to be successful. And thus far, those reviews, as you heard, are not as strong. Washington has solidified the offensive line with the re-signing of Laramie Tunsil, Nick Allegretti, and Andrew Wiley as well. But there's a hole at the center position with the departure of Tyler Biadasz, as well as they have yet to bring in a second wide receiver to complement Terry McLaurin. News broke approximately an hour ago that the team has come to terms with tight end Chiga Kwankwu, but as of now, the Burgundy and faithful fans still feel uncertain about the offense. They're leaning on the defense.
I think it's done all right.
Yeah.
I think there's an opportunity to do better this season. Yeah. They got the right talent.
They got to make improvements to the defense. That's our that was one of our weak spots, and they need to get some depth. One guy goes down, and that's it.
It's the start of the league year. The Washington Commanders, Adam Peters making move, a majority of them on the defensive side of the ball.
some local senior citizens put their boat building skills to the test. We'll take you to the cardboard regatta when we come back. The annual Senior Cardboard Regatta kicked off today in Silver Spring. There it is. Teams from senior centers across Montgomery County racing their personalized cardboard boats across the pool at the Martin Luther King Jr. Swim Center. Participants paddled their designs in hopes of staying afloat and crossing the finish line first, all for a chance to take home top honors.
What was the secret, man? How'd you do it?
Great engineering, great team, and I live long and prosper. Great things happen when you commit yourself to trying your best.
Each boat was built using only cardboard boxes, duct tape, and garbage bags. And coming up Sunday on The Good Word on Demand, I'm joined by Bishop Vance Olds. He's the head of the Liberty House Ministries in the district. He's also a husband, father, and get this, digital creator, but not just any digital creator. Many of his videos have gone viral, seen by millions, mainly roller skating. I asked him about his rise to online fame.
I never expected. All I do is be faithful. I never really wanted to be famous. I wanted to be faithful. And because I was faithful, God made my name famous. And so that's the same thing now. I just want to be effective. I want to be impactful. I want somebody's life to change because of my life being changed. Because I wasn't always a preacher. I haven't always wore a suit and a tie. I was a low down, good for nothing, scum of the earth, backbiting, whoremonger, sinner on my way to hell. But God reached way down, picked me up, changed my life, turned me around, gave me a word to share with others that if he can do it for me, he can do it for anybody.
There you go. He's amassed more than 1 million followers. That's on Instagram alone. You can watch The Good Word on Fox Local on demand Sundays at 10 a.m. Also on Fox Soul at 4 and 4:30 p.m. We are always on, folks, through the Fox Local app or at our website, fox5dc.com. We'll see you back over on Fox 5 for the news at 10 and 11.
This is the Live Zone Primetime. I almost forgot the name of the show. We're off to a hot start. It's 9 o'clock on this Thursday night. I'm producer Chris. Thank you so much for joining us, whether you're watching on Fox 5 DC's YouTube page or if you're watching on Fox Local on what has been a very active evening weather-wise. We'll get into all of that in just a second. First, though, we have to say hello to our co-host, the one and only Tony P, coming to us live from down in sunny Florida, I assume, because Tony P is showing that color on his cheeks.
Yes, it's a little red, but it's, it kind of matures. It marinates after a couple of days, and then it will set in nice. I played a little golf again today. I have to tell you, my friends, I went from an F- the other day to, I would say, a C-. So we're getting there because I couldn't go any lower. So any improvement would have been just a victory. And today there was some improvement. I won a little bit of money too. So
okay. Well, that makes everything better, if I'm being honest with you.
How you doing, my friend? What's it like back home? How are things going today? What's the vibe? Like, I kind of feel like I have FOMO.
This was the vibe, Tony P. I'm going to take you right to our radar loop, okay? This is what things looked like over the course of the last 3 hours or so. You see that line of green, yellow, and red pushing through upper Montgomery County, Frederick County, also parts of Howard County, right through Baltimore, north of the Beltway for the most part. But we saw some active scenes. We had tornado watches. We had tornado warnings popping up across the DMV earlier this evening. Also some severe thunderstorm watches and warnings. But Tony P, get that. This is just the beginning, because that cold front responsible for those storms could also mean the DMV could go from 80+ degrees today to a chance for snow in less than 24 hours. We are talking about late tomorrow morning. That cold air mass will drop surface temperatures about 40 degrees overnight, but the atmosphere itself could be cold enough to turn some raindrops into snowflakes. Time frame late tomorrow morning or in the early afternoon. Of course, meteorologist Mike Thomas is going to keep an eye on everything. Everything you need to know coming up on Fox 5 News at 10 and 11 tonight. And of course, the one and only Tick Tock Tuck will have complete coverage in the morning if we see any snowflakes. But Tony P, we had to cut in the programming at both the late 6:30 half hour through part of Like It or Not at 7 o'clock because of those tornado warnings across the DMV.
It's right. I mean, I'd say this is kind of this time of year, and what I want to know definitely from Mike at some point is this all normal? Is it just because
it's very early? It's obviously very early.
Yeah.
I went back to check in with the team a little earlier for them to put up that looping radar for me, and they basically said it's good practice for what we can expect to see through the spring and summer. Not necessarily, but we have seen more instances of severe weather. And obviously yesterday, Mike talked about this possibility because we were keeping an eye on some of those major storms that were already popping up across the Midwest, Chicago, Indiana, Oklahoma, et cetera.
Well, part of me really thinks, Chris, is this a precursor to an early hurricane season? Will that start maybe in July and August or even earlier than that? When usually we see Florida across the East Coast, there's a lot of hurricane activity around August, September when kids go back to school. Is that going to shift now? And will that range of where the hurricanes start, will it be closer to the mainland? Will it be closer to Florida? Will it maybe go into more North Carolina and Louisiana, the Gulf Coast? Who knows? So I think this is going to be interesting to follow throughout the summer if this is the beginning of something, and is this something to do with the climate shift? I mean, are we starting to see it, I think, more prevalent than we have in the past? Before it was a lot more subtle. You'd have a couple years with really high temperatures of heat, but you didn't see a lot of this type of weather activity. Now it's happening in many different parts of the country.
Yeah, no question about it. The Fox 5 weather team will keep you up aren't on air, whether it's streaming, whether it's linear, but you can stay up to date with the forecast anytime with the Fox Local app on your phone. The Fox Weather on the Go is available on that Fox Local Weather app as well. Fox Local app, weather available on it. Exactly. You can get the forecast for everywhere you are on that Fox Local app as well. Tony P, you know what was crazy though? You know what was crazy?
What was crazy?
The same time that we are talking about 80-degree temperatures and snow, we also have to talk about the cherry blossoms, because that dramatic temperature shift that we could see could cause some major confusion for DC's iconic cherry blossoms, because after a couple days of those spring-like temperatures, Tony P, the blossoms officially reached stage 1. Peak bloom still predicted for March 28th to April 1st. Earlier today, Fox 5 caught up with National Park Service spokesman Mike Ledurst to find out if this is earlier than expected. Take a listen.
Mild winter last year, we hit stage 1 on March 11th, which is today. So we're, at least compared to last year, we're right on schedule where we were. These couple of days in a row of temperatures in the mid-80s, that has really accelerated this.
So that dramatic temperature drop, like I said, could mess with things a little bit. Maybe back in 2008, the blossoms actually hit the green bud stage on February 19th, but didn't hit the second stage for nearly a month. Last year, like you heard Mike say, we hit the green bud stage on the exact same day as this year. We hit stage 2 5 days later. There are 6 total stages, Tony P, so we still have some time until peak bloom, but we'll have to see if those huge temperature swings have any impact on those little tiny buds that draw so many people to the DMV.
That is really quick. I mean, I always think of flowers taking a long time. They're very deliberate. I mean, they don't, again, it's hard to watch it throughout an entire day. But, I mean, these things pop up quickly. I've been here for 3.5 years, and I know they're a major part. And I've been to, of course, the showings of the flowers, but have never actually understood how quickly they rise. So really interesting stuff there.
Tony P, you are going to be in charge. So, my favorite, everyone here at Fox 5, of the stages, the peduncle elongation is obviously everyone's favorite because it's our favorite to say. So you will officially be in charge when we hit peduncle elongation. Tony P, the P stands for peduncle elongation, as everyone out there knows. So you will be.
That'd be kind of cool.
Yeah, you will be in charge of covering that for us. Speaking of spring, though, Tony P, speaking of spring, we also have to talk about spring break because it's right around the corner. And if you have travel plans, things could get tricky, and they could get tricky because of what you are seeing on your screen right now, those long-ass lines. That's because the Department of Homeland Security still shut down, and more TSA staffers are calling out now. That has led to some long lines at airports, and there could even be fewer screeners in the future and more passengers in the days and weeks ahead. Call-out rates climbed into double digits this week at some airports after employees missed their second paycheck in a row. Even worse, TSA agents are now quitting in big numbers as well. More than 300 have left the agency in the last month, and that trend is likely to accelerate with lawmakers on Capitol Hill deadlocked on a funding deal. Now, Democrats have introduced legislation to fund the entire department except ICE and CPB, which they say are in need of major reforms. But Majority Leader John Thune says that's a non-starter, meaning these travel troubles are likely to continue for the near future. Now, at the exact same time, Tony P, if you're driving somewhere instead, you may not be immune to issues. Because since the war on Iran began, oil prices have increased 20%, while gas prices have climbed more than 50 cents. So, to address the supply disruptions, the International Energy Agency says its member countries will release 400 million barrels of oil. President Donald Trump said today his administration will tap the United States Strategic Petroleum Reserve to try and prevent any more pain at the pump. And Tony P, I know because you are currently down in Florida, this is something you have obviously been keeping your eye on because you are going to be traveling before you know it.
Oh, yes. So now when I first came down to Florida, I flew out at 10:39 on last Saturday, and it was a breeze. I walked through. I mean, I have Clear, just full disclosure. I have one of those services that allows me to go through a little bit quicker. And there wasn't a ton of traffic. It was very easy getting in, took an Uber in, then took the flight out. But Friday. Friday, I have a flight at 8:33 or something like that, Florida time. So I'm debating, and I have lunch with a friend of mine in Fort Lauderdale where I'm flying out of. I'm debating, moving that lunch up to like probably 1 o'clock so that I can get into the airport by 4, just so I can avoid any type of friction. Even if Clear has a 2+ hour wait, again, I'm not sure, but I'm definitely trying to figure out what my plans are going to be, because usually I get there a couple hours early, an hour and a half before we board. But who knows? Will the processing for the bags be different? Will that impact the security lane?
Tony P, you know who knows? You know who knows? Travel expert Troy Petenbrink. And that hour and a half may not be enough. Look, he's going to join us. He joins us now live to talk more about these travel issues, what to expect, and what you could possibly do to kind of mitigate some of them. Troy, thanks so much for joining us here tonight.
Because right now we have a perfect storm when it comes to travel.